You're 19 years old, standing in a recruitment office in Manchester. The poster on the wall shows a figure in black tactical gear rappelling from a helicopter. Special Air Service. Who dares wins. You've been working construction for 8 months. Your mates are already talking about mortgages and settling down. You can't imagine 40 years of the same faces, same pubs, same conversations. So you sign the papers. You don't know it yet, but you just volunteered for the most brutal selection process on Earth. Basic training comes first. 8 weeks of being screamed at by men who've seen things you can't pronounce. You learn to march, shoot, polish boots until you can see your reflection judging you back. It's designed to make everyone identical. Same haircut, same movements, same answer to every question. Yes, Sergeant, you graduate. You're a private now in the parachute regiment. You think you've made it. You haven't even started. 2 years pass. You deploy to Afghanistan, Helmand province. You learn what heat feels like when it has weight. You learn the sound an IED makes isn't an explosion, it's a feeling that arrives before the noise. You watch good men get loaded onto helicopters that fly them somewhere you never hear about again. You do your job. You come home. Your girlfriend doesn't recognize the quiet that follows you around now. She leaves. You don't blame her. You've changed in ways you can't explain at dinner parties. Then you hear about selection. Everyone's heard about it. SAS selection has a 20% pass rate on a good year. Most years it's lower. Your platoon sergeant pulls you aside one night. You've got the look, he says. The look isn't about muscle or aggression. It's about something else. Something that doesn't quit when quitting makes sense. You submit your application. 4 months later, you're standing in the Brecon Beacons in January with 60 other candidates who all have the same look. The first phase is fitness. Sounds simple. It's not. You're carrying a 55-pound Bergen Plus weapon across mountains in winter. The instructors don't tell you where you're going or how far. They just give you a grid reference and a time hack. If you're late, you're gone. No second chances, no explanations. Men start dropping on day 2. Hypothermia, injuries, voluntary withdrawal. VW, they call it. The instructors don't try to stop you. There's a truck waiting at every checkpoint. Warm, dry, heading back to civilization. All you have to do is get in. By week 3, 40 candidates are gone. You're still here. Your feet are destroyed. Blisters have blisters. You've learned to navigate in zero visibility using nothing but a compass and spite. The fan dance comes next. 24 kilometers over Pen y Fan, the highest peak in South Wales. Up, down, up again. You do it in under 4 hours, carrying everything you own on your back. The wind tries to push you off the ridge. You don't let it. Then comes the killer. Endurance. 64 kilometers across the mountains. You have 20 hours. Your Bergen now weighs 65 pounds. You move through the night alone. No one's coming to help. No one's checking if you're okay. Just you, the dark, and a series of grid references that might as well be written in ancient Greek for how your brain is functioning right now. You navigate by feel. Your body moves on something deeper than consciousness. Around you, men are quitting. Strong men, capable men. Men who've done things in combat that would make civilians weep. They're getting in the truck because their bodies have stopped listening to their minds. You cross the final checkpoint at hour 19. Your knees feel like broken glass. Your shoulders are bleeding under the Bergen straps. The instructor looks at his watch, looks at you, nods once. You're through the hills phase. 30 candidates left. But here's what nobody tells you about SAS selection. The physical part? That's just the filter. What comes next is designed to break something else entirely. Jungle phase in Brunei. 40 degrees, 100% humidity, everything trying to poison, bite, or infect you. You're about to learn that discomfort has levels you haven't discovered yet. You learn to move in humidity so thick it feels like breathing through a wet towel. The jungle doesn't care about your endurance record in Wales. Different rules here. You're learning patrol tactics, how to move silently through terrain that broadcasts every step, how to set up observation posts where a single mistake means compromise. The instructors are former operators who've done this for real in places whose names are still classified. They're not teaching theory, they're teaching survival. Combat survival comes next. They call it resistance to interrogation. Polite name for something that isn't polite. You're captured, hooded, thrown into stress positions that turn minutes into geological epochs. Sleep deprivation measured in days, not hours. Interrogators trained to find the crack in your cover story. That one detail you'll get wrong when your brain is running on fumes and fear. You're given a cover story to protect. Basic. Simple. They're going to try to break it in you. Not with Hollywood torture, but with cold, clinical methods perfected over decades. White noise, temperature extremes, positions that don't injure but hurt in ways that make you reconsider every choice that led here. Some candidates break. Not because they're weak, because there's a limit to what humans can endure, and this course is designed to find exactly where that limit lives. You don't break. You go somewhere else in your head, a room they can't enter. You repeat your cover story until it becomes a mantra, a lifeline, the only true thing in a world designed to dissolve truth. When they finally pull the hood off, you've been awake for 70 hours. The instructor looks at you differently now, like you've proven something important. 18 candidates left. The final phase is immediate action drills, counter-terrorism, hostage rescue, close-quarter battle. You're learning to clear rooms in seconds, distinguish threats from hostages in milliseconds, shoot with precision under conditions designed to induce maximum chaos. The training facility is a maze of kill houses where every decision matters, and hesitation kills imaginary hostages played by very real instructors who will fail you without hesitation. You train until the movements become automatic, muscle memory written in thousands of repetitions. Then comes badging day. You're standing in a room with 17 other men who've survived 6 months of systematic brutality. The officer in charge doesn't congratulate you, he just hands you the badge. Tan beret, winged dagger. You're SAS now. What that means won't fully land for months. Your first operational deployment is 8 months later. Can't say where. Can't say what. You're inserted at night into a place that doesn't want you there. The mission brief was 30 minutes. The preparation was 3 weeks. When it happens fast. Training takes over. Everything you learned in those kill houses, all those repetitions, they're not practice anymore. This is the actual thing. You do your job. Everyone comes home. The debrief lasts longer than the operation. Between deployments, you train. Different environments, different skills. Desert navigation, Arctic warfare, advanced demolitions, languages, cultural training. You're becoming a toolkit the government deploys when conventional options are exhausted. You run missions that will never make the news. Successes that stay classified for 50 years. You see things that stay behind your eyes when you try to sleep. The brotherhood is real but quiet. You don't talk about what you've done even with each other, especially with each other. You just know, that's enough. Civilians ask what you do. You tell them logistics. It's not entirely a lie. You're just moving different cargo to different places using different methods. 20 years in, your knees sound like gravel in a can. Your back has opinions about weather changes. You've got scars with stories you'll never tell and medals you'll never wear in public. The regiment offers you a training position. You take it. New role now. Passing on what you've learned to the next generation of candidates standing in the Brecon beacons wondering what they've gotten themselves into. You see yourself in their eyes, that look. The thing that doesn't quit when quitting makes sense. You don't tell them it gets easier. You just hand them a grid reference and watch them disappear into the hills. Some will make it. Most won't. The ones who do will understand eventually what you already know. The badge isn't the destination. It's the entrance fee to a life most people can't imagine and fewer can survive. They'll carry it until their bodies give out or the regiment decides it's time. And when they finally take off that tan beret for the last time, they'll realize something strange. The hardest part isn't what they did. It's explaining to everyone else why they can't talk about it. The silence becomes permanent. Who dares wins. Who wins carries it forever.